All right, so I'm excited to share digital marketing tips for everyone in here. So I know it'll be useful. By the end of the presentation, you'll pretty much understand how to really take advantage of all the digital marketing channels available to you and what to do and how to get started as well. So again, my background, worked at Google. I was pretty much one of the people that went around the country and educating small business owners on how to grow online using many Google tools, including Google Analytics, AdWords, Google+, and then eventually started my own business training organizations. I'm author of Digital Marketing for Results, How to Focus on What Matters. So first off is marketers must adapt. So I say that because this is an industry that's always changing, and digital marketing is always changing as well. Channels are always changing. Algorithms are always changing. Maybe 5 years ago, you could post something on Facebook and you'll get a lot of likes. Now, you would have to change your strategy in order to get that many likes and engagement. So it's constantly changing. I would say always update how you're using your strategy and update just to think about how your audience is behaving. How are your traffic to your site, how are they behaving when they get to your site? Always updating your knowledge about what's going on. And first off, I want to talk about how the fact that many people are using mobile devices more than ever. So whatever you do, you want to make sure that when your site comes up, somebody pulls up your social media profiles, that your site looks good on those different devices. And later on in this presentation, I'm going to show you exactly how to find out what devices people are using to get to your site. So look at this, 97% of people search online before making a purchase. So that's before they contact the salesperson. They want to do the research. They want to look at reviews. They want to see who this company is and are they credible. And so you want to be on the top of the search results when people type in transcription, core reporting, all these different types of keywords that people might type in. So I'm going to show you exactly what to do and what to look for when it comes to ranking higher on Google and other search engines. So 4 billion searches yesterday, today, tomorrow. And 85% of clicks come from organic content. So that means that people go to Google and they go to Yahoo, and yes, they see the advertisements on the top of those search engines, but they rather click on the results underneath those ads because it's more trustworthy. And for some reason, if they were able to get on the first page organically, that gives you credibility. So of course, you always want to be on the first page, maybe the second page. Right? And one of the key tools, Google Webmaster Tools, and also Google AdWords Keyword Planner, you can write that out, Keyword Planner. This will show you exactly how many people are searching for certain words. So it's important to understand you don't want to do any guesswork. One of the things I like about digital marketing is the fact that everything is out there for us. Information about our competitors, information about our customers, we can know what people are typing in. We'll know how many times they're typing that in throughout the month. So you don't have to guess. You want to use these tools and make sure you're using the right terms, right phrases, and really go after the target audience. So when it comes to ranking your content higher on Google, everybody uses Google, everybody uses search engines. Even our social media platforms, they're either a search engine right now or they're turning into a search engine. Sometimes we go to Facebook, we search stuff. Sometimes we go to Twitter, TikTok. Many of the younger generation, they're using TikTok to search stuff as well. And so in Google, still popular as well. So think about when it comes to your website, make sure you have fresh content. I tell many businesses this, and it's really simple. Just update your site each week. And when I say update, I mean this could be a blog post. This could be a couple sentences on your About page. This could be pictures. Update your site so you have fresh content so Google knows that, yes, the site is still in business. So updating your site and also putting content such as blogs and other links on your site as well can pay off. And I'm going to go into more detail about that too. So Google versus Bing versus Yahoo versus Siri versus Twitter, right? Facebook, all right? So again, it's a search engine. So Google is still the top search engine that brings up websites. And of course, you have the the Bing, the Yahoo, you have all these other ones. But can anybody name any of the last 2 search engines that are bringing up traffic? Can anybody name last? Whoever gets it right gets a free trip to Houston, Texas. Nah, just kidding. You don't get a free trip to Houston, but yeah, yes. TikTok. No, the ones that bring up websites. So search engines that bring up websites. Any of the last 2? Bing and Yahoo. No, there's 2 more after this. Those are browsers. So, it starts with A. It starts with A. There you go. AOL, and there's another one. It starts with A. So no free trip to Houston for anybody. Wow. No? It is Ask. And lastly, AOL. Does anybody still have an AOL email address? Don't be ashamed. You can raise your hand. All right. A couple people, okay. Some people, okay. All right. Oh, okay, great. So again, this is information you want to know because you want to make sure that you're ranking well on these search engines, the top search engines at least. And same thing for the other platforms. Know what platforms have the most traffic. Know what platforms have your audience in them as well. So people always ask me, well, how do I know what platform to use? How do I know what search engine to really focus on? Think about what your key audience is using. Right? You know you're desperate for an answer when you go to the second page of Google. Anybody agree? Right? So you want to be on the first page, and then preferably when you get on the first page, you want to be on the top 5 results. So I did some research for you. All right, so this is a tool. It's called Google Trends. So I highly recommend it. It'll tell you what words and phrases are trending at the moment. So remember I told you earlier, there's no guesswork that you should do. You want to know exactly what people are searching in, what people are talking about. So for example, I typed in what's more popular right now, court reporting or the term court reporter. And court reporter was more popular at the moment. So what does that tell you? That tells you when in your content, maybe it's social media or your website, you might want to use the word court reporter more than court reporting. And so that's what people are typing in. So if you do that, then more people would come to your site because guess what? You're using exactly what people are typing in and you're knowing your audience a little bit better. And you can do this for many other keywords as well. In this site right here, as far as search engines, this is something that I saw online when I was doing some research. And notice what they're doing here. So many people, when they create a website, they have let's say transcriber.com/page1, transcriber.com/page2 for all the different pages. But see what this person did, this company did? At the very top, if you look at their URL, they have words in them. They have, instead of just page 1, they have the terms, maybe it's a reporting, Houston. They have those terms because so when people type in court reporting Houston, guess what? They're going to come up because they have those in the URL instead of just having random page 1, page 2. So everything when it comes to your website needs to be intentional when you're writing content, when you're writing blog posts, even if you're hiring people to write your blog posts, it's important to use those keywords. So for example, Houston, Texas, this person, they're on the first page right now when I typed in for these services and I typed in court reporting Houston, Texas, because they're making sure to use some of those terms on their website. And this is stuff that you can do or you can get your team to do or you can hire a company to do, but in general, you want to make everything intentional. So this is how it looks right here. So we have the professional court reporting services. And a key thing that I've always talked about for years is when you go to Google, you have about 3 lines there. So you see the first line, it's professional court reporting. That's called services in Houston, Texas. That's called the title tag. So you can write down title tag, and you can tell your team or if you're trying to do it yourself, change your title tags on your pages. So if you were to look on Google for your name of your business right now, it shouldn't just say the name of your business on the first line. It should say words that your company does or your brand does instead. And then the description tag right there, that's when you want to go into detail about what is your business, how does your business work, and what do you offer? All right. So search optimization expert walks into a bar, bars, pub, public house, Irish pub, drinks. So get the idea, right? So it's basically Any type of word matters. Just like the example we said earlier, you got reporter and you got reporting. I mean, you all know this. This is kind of what you do. It's pretty much the words matter. Singular, plural, all that matters when it comes to your content. So everything matters, and research what exactly people are typing in and what you want to use when it comes to your business. All right. So more pages, more links, more keywords. So you've heard the term less is more, but when it comes to online marketing, you always want to think about more of the pages. So the more pages you have, the more likely Google's going to find you. The more keywords you have, the better. And of course, you don't want to have a whole bunch of keywords just on a list of a page, but you want to make sure you have more content. So one thing that I do for our businesses is I go in every week and I just add a couple sentences to my old blog posts, or my old about pages, or my sites in general. Just add a few sentences, add a few links, for example. So let's say, for example, you're doing an event and you're part of an event, and your website is mentioned on that event page. You can easily ask them, like, hey, can you please put my link to my website on your web page? That's going to be a huge help, especially if that website has been around for a long time. So links. Adding links and keywords. And the objective is to work smarter, not harder. That's why I said you always want to research before guessing and failing. So you want to research. So just like this video, you want to work smart and not harder. So just like this guy, instead of getting up, he just used the fishing rod, right? So work hard, smarter. So same thing when it comes to online marketing. Don't do the hard work. Just work smarter. It's going. Right. Anybody have Google reviews now? Google reviews on their business? Okay, some people. Anybody leave Google reviews? I read them. You read them? Okay, you read them. All right. So they say if a customer has a bad experience, they're way more likely to leave a negative review, right? But these days, people aren't really, they're writing reviews, but you kind of have to tell them to write them. You have to let them know that it's important for your business. So first off, you have to have the business page, Google business page. Everybody's seen that. If we were to type in Italian restaurant in New Orleans, you're going to see the Google pages on Google, right? So same thing for your business. You want to make sure you have that set up. And then after you provide these services, ask people to write a review. Simple as that. So write a quick review. Here's the link to it, 2 to 3 sentences, real quick. What that does is when people are typing in your services, your type of services in Google, guess what? Your page will pop up. So you create a business page. So it's business.google.com. So that's where you create that business page. You create that business page, and then you make sure to put pictures on there and then get reviews. And not just any reviews. Reviews that signify how your business did. So you can say, thanks for using our service. Can you please write a review about our customer service? Or please write a review on the specific service, maybe it's transcribing, court reporting, or anything that you gain from our business. Because right now, what Google's doing is they are ranking content higher based off of the words that people are using in their reviews. So make sure you're getting reviews, and the words that are in the reviews are important as well. All right, so searches. All right, so you can track how many people search your business, how many people call you as well. So definitely important. So right now, write down 2 keyword phrases that you want to be on the top page of Google for. So 2 keyword phrases. So write down 2. Just write down a piece of paper. 2 keywords. It could be transcribers in Dallas, Texas. It could be court reporting. So write down 2 phrases, and then I'm gonna ask you what they are. So 2 phrases. And then we'll go from there in a little bit. Right? So when it comes to the business page, one thing that's really important is images. So this is one of the clients that we have, and they upload images every week, and thousands of people view these images because they want to know more about the business. So when I go to the area about websites, we kind of talk about the type of content to put on your websites. But one type of really good content is people. So people want to see who's behind the business. So anytime you can, make sure you're using people in real photos. Right? All right. So before we get to the social part, can anybody name what type of keyword phrases they wrote down? Anybody want to say? Yes, back there.
Legal transcription.
Okay, legal transcription. All right. Yes.
Court reporting in Indiana.
Okay, court reporting in Indiana. Okay. So we got legal transcription. That's probably like a broad general term. And we got the localized terms. And I would recommend you do both. So you have the general terms and you have the ones that are specific to your city. Because guess what? People in your city sometimes want to work with people in your city. So sometimes when people reach out to me, I didn't realize until a couple years ago, but if a conference is happening in Houston, Texas, and they happen to live in Houston, Texas, they might type in internet marketing speaker in Houston. And so that's what I realized that's a good idea. Whether you're national, international, local, you still want to utilize and target some of those actual local keywords. Anybody else? Anybody else? What keyword did you do? Yes.
Honest lawyer.
Honest lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that okay? That's a creative one, you know. So I would say search, see if people are searching for that. People probably are searching for that, right? So honest lawyer, Dallas, Texas, right? So that's a good one. All right. Anybody else?
Online training.
Online training. Okay. So you want to make sure that's a little bit more detailed as far as like what type of training, and then is it international, global, national? But it could be, what kind of training is it?
Digital reporting and legal transcription.
Oh, we got it. So digital reporting training, that might be it. And that's a unique situation because those more detailed keywords, she can make a YouTube video about. And then the small amount of people that are searching for that, guess what? They might be paying customers because she's using those detailed keywords on her website or on her YouTube videos as well. Right? Anybody else?
Keyboarding.
Keyboarding, okay. So what type of services are, what kind of service is that?
Text expansion.
Okay, text, okay, yeah. Yeah, so that's a word as well, right? So definitely. So all these words that you're mentioning, make sure, let's say you hire a blog person to write a blog on your site, make sure you're letting them know, hey, these are the words that we are working on, and make sure you're implementing some of these words into the content as well, right? Social. All right, so let's talk about social media. Donuts. I thought everybody ate breakfast already. So when you see this term, I'm eating a hashtag donut, where do you think you would post this? Where do you think you'll post this kind of caption? Okay, Instagram? Instagram, all right. I'm checked in at Dolly's Donuts. Where about that one? Facebook. Facebook, okay. Facebook, all right. Here's how to eat a donut. YouTube, TikTok. TikTok, okay. All right, TikTok. My skills include donut eating. LinkedIn, yep. So definitely LinkedIn, yeah. So LinkedIn, skills include donut eating, wow. And also we have, here's a donut recipe. Pinterest, okay, yeah, Pinterest, so we got the picture in here. And then let's hang together online and eat donuts. This could be pretty much anyone, right? So different ones. So I put these slides up there because each social media platform, there's a reason for that platform, and there's a way you want to communicate on that platform. And many of them look the same these days, but it's a slightly different now. It's slightly, TikTok, of course, it's vertical video. Our Twitter is more conversational. LinkedIn is more professional. Our Facebook is personal/business, right? So think about the platforms that you're on. Understand the reason behind the platform and how people interact versus just posting the same exact content across all the different platforms, right? So there's a reason for each type of platform. So be ready. So first thing, so it's interesting how the first part of this presentation, I talked about search engines. Now we're talking about social media, and search is still involved. So if I went to LinkedIn, when I was creating this presentation, and I typed in transcription services, and guess what? Even though the platform's on LinkedIn, you still want to put some of this content on your business page and your personal page as well. So if you have a LinkedIn personal page, make sure you're filling out all the details. So for example, your summary of the LinkedIn profile, your job description. So don't just put the job description there and don't just have one sentence as your skills in your summary. Make sure you fill it out. I would say a couple paragraphs for your summary, a paragraph for each job. I mean, if you have a transcription business or a job, I would say 2 to 3 paragraphs for the job. So guess what? When people are typing in services like this, your profile is going to come up. And I say this because when it comes to getting digital marketing results, you got to think about all the different ways you can bring business your way, all the different ways people can find you. So for example, you want to be found on Google when people type in Google. You want to be found on LinkedIn. You want to be found on social media platforms. You want to be found on all these other platforms. So you want to make sure you're implementing these tactics across the board, right? And so even with LinkedIn, if you notice, you want to make sure you have those keywords in your title. So many people don't utilize the fact that you have all these characters limits when it comes to your title on LinkedIn. So definitely utilize that. And it's something interesting that I found when I was researching for this topic. The fact that there's not that many businesses really taking advantage of these tips on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Google. So what that means is there's a huge opportunity for you. So if you implement some of these tips within a couple weeks, then you could be on the top page, for example, for these pages. So for example, if you look at right here, they have keywords in there, but they haven't really filled out their profile. But so if you go and do that literally today, tomorrow, you might be on the first page when it comes to LinkedIn. Right? So I remember years ago when I first got into marketing, one of my jobs was just like a marketing specialist at a local business. And part of the business included like a local nonprofit. And this nonprofit only had about 100 members. And eventually, we were able to be on the first page for keywords that other bigger organizations, nonprofits, were not able to attain because we were utilizing some of these tactics. Right? Even in Instagram. So you go to Instagram, you type in core reporting transcription, profiles come up. So set up an Instagram page and make sure you have those keywords in your summary. Simple as that. Because you never know when you're going to get the business or where you're going to get the business from. So just putting your links in there, putting your description of where you what type of work you do, and some of the keywords as well. So again, I did some research for you, right? So all-hashtags.com. So you can write that down, all-hashtags.com. That's where you can find you can find hashtags for your business. All you gotta do is type in a word, and it'll have a list of different hashtags that you can use. And these hashtags, this is what you want to use when you're posting on content such as TikTok or Instagram, because this is how you get found. So if I go to Instagram and I'm in New Orleans, I might type in transcription services New Orleans, and your content is going to come up if you use some of those hashtags. So making sure that you have some of that in each of your posts. And the good thing about this is you can easily track all of this. You can track how many people see your content through hashtags, how many people clicked on your website. So all that information is available, just like I mentioned earlier. Right? So let's think about what type of content to post. So basically, let me ask you this. What type of content do you currently post on social media? No content? Nothing? When's the last time you posted? Last year, maybe? All right. So in general, when you think about content, think about entertaining content, educational content, and sales content. So different types of content. It's just like the presentation that I do is this entertaining, education, and promotion. So think about this. So one is a testimonial. So I'm sure everybody in here has good testimonials from people that they've worked with, people that they did business with, or did business for. Why not create a graphic specifically for the testimonial and then post that online? Yeah, you can post on your website, but you want to let people know that you're doing a good job. And I think that's the tricky part about social media, is the fact that you have to build trust over time. You know, if you post something today, you start an Instagram account today and you post, you're probably not going to get new business right away, 24 hours. But over time, if you keep sharing this type of content, such as testimonials, such as the kind of work you do, people eventually pay attention and they'll start trusting you because they've seen the work that you've done. And a simple graphic like this can be made in Canva. Anybody use Canva? Canva, or you can hire somebody to do create the graphics for you. So it's easily able to done. It's just about creating it and making sure that you're posting and letting people know what you do. So the best Zoom meetings, hosts, can you hear me okay? Everyone know? Hosts, let's just reschedule. Everyone great, right? Anybody relate to this yet? So entertaining content. So entertaining content, it could be any type of entertaining content, or it could be entertaining content that's related to your field. So again, education, entertainment, promotion. So entertaining, or you get people engaged. And education, maybe you're educating people about transcription services. For example, this past weekend, since I've been here, I've learned so much about this whole business, right? I had no idea all this happened. So I learned all this stuff about transcription, reporting, court reporting, I already forgot the name, but yeah, so much things going on. But talk about how can you educate your audience about what you do? So for example, in a small business example, if a dentist is posting something on social media and they say, here's 5 ways to keep your teeth clean for the new year. Guess what? They might not be able to get business after people see that post the next day, but guess what? A year later, when somebody has a toothache, they're probably going to remember the dentist that's been giving them tips all these years or all these months. So providing information to them can be helpful. When it's been 30 minutes and the witness can't figure out how to use Zoom, right? So again, entertaining content that people see, you can share it and then have it connect with your audience and get views. And even Facebook, even groups, you can create a group for your brand as well. So groups are popular because once you create a group, when you post, pretty much everybody sees the post. That's another way to grow your brand as well. So Facebook groups, right? Of course, Facebook pages are great, but Facebook groups are good too. Information. So let me ask you this. What type of information can you share with your audience? What type of key information that you wish that you think your audience needs to know? Anybody want to say? What type of information? New laws, maybe? All right, new laws, or how to choose a person that's doing your transcription reporting, right? So what to look for. So all those are keys that can help you grow your brand and gain confidence and trust over time. And one type of content that works really well is emotional content. Emotional content helps draw attraction and keeps people coming back. And overall, it helps connect because we can all relate to emotional content. For example, this is a graph that shows all the type of emotional content that we engage in. I mean, all of us in here have probably seen a viral YouTube video or a video that's posted on Facebook and we shared it and it was entertaining, right? So all laughter, amusement, right? So entertaining, emotional content. I told you yesterday about how whenever I post myself, I don't get that much likes, but I want to post family pictures, it gets a lot of likes. So emotional content that engages. And when it comes to emotional content, think about all the days, all the popular days during the year, Mother's Day, or Father's Day. How can you tie that into the content that you're posting on social media so you can get more engagement? Because, for example, Mother's Day, everybody's going to be talking about it during Mother's Day. Post content that relates to Mother's Day, or it could just be Happy Mother's Day and post something that's engaging, right? So engage content and make sure it's connecting. Right? So whenever we start out maybe start a business or we're in a company and we start a project, we want to make sure that we succeed. We want to make sure that our hard work is going to pay off. So that's what this person did in Texas. He finally started his donut shop. And he was happy and excited about it. But something happened on the grand opening. Nobody showed up. Some people are laughing, but it sounds kind of sad to me, right? Nobody showed up. And so Of course, it was an emotional day, and his son was there with him as well. And his son thought to himself, wow, let me just take a picture of this empty parking lot, empty donut shop. And he posted on Twitter, he said, my dad is sad because no one is coming to his donut shop. Just the emotional post, right? This post got over 70,000 likes, shared by thousands of people. And by the end of the day, they sold out. Sold out of donuts. Twitter executives came by. All right, people from around the state came by to buy the donuts. And this happened because he wasn't just trying to brag about how things were going, if they were going great and they were selling donuts when they really weren't. They were trying to have an emotional connection that really connected with their audience. And this is what happens when you connect emotionally.
And he gave a reason.
And a reason. There we go. I gave a reason. Yep. Gave a reason. Yep. So sold out, and people came in. So definitely use emotional content for the better. Right. So what time do you currently post on social media? Or do you not post at all, I guess, right? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what time to post. All right, so let's talk about the best times to post. What time do you think is a good time to post? Morning, okay, morning. 3 o'clock, okay, 3 o'clock. Let's take a look. Right before lunch. So LinkedIn, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, just think about when your audience is online. That's the best bet. Think about when your specific audience is online. If it's court, if it's lawyers, maybe it's early in the morning. And remember what I said earlier, the good thing about all this is the research is there, the data is there. So if you start any of these paid social media pages, guess what? It'll tell you specifically when your audience is online. When they're online, is it noon? Is it 8 a.m., 9 a.m.? Is it the evening? So you don't really have to guess on a lot of these things as far as what time to post. So let's take a look. LinkedIn. So I say in the morning is good. In the afternoon is good when people are getting off of work. When they're off of work, they're off of lunch, right? They're picking up their phones. In my personal opinion, it says that is the best day to post on LinkedIn is Thursday. And my personal opinion is by Thursday, everybody's fed up with their jobs and they're on LinkedIn looking for other jobs. So that's my personal opinion, but that's what you're saying. So LinkedIn Thursday, and then of course, look at this screen, you can take a screenshot, but go to your specific information, your specific data, and see what's going on your pages.
Where do you see that? I don't, not to sound weird, but.
It could be Facebook Insights, so it's called Facebook Insights. Also, I mean, you could just email me, right, as well. I can give you like the walkthrough. But yeah, Facebook Insights, Instagram Insights as well. It'll tell you when people are online. So for example, in this example, it's like Friday is a popular day, Saturday is a popular day, Wednesday is a popular day, and then noon. For me, my audience, they're online 12 during lunchtime on Instagram. All right, so morning and 12, and then around 4. But other than that, and it's funny because like I notice how different the engagement is if I don't post at those right times. So if I post at, let's say 3 o'clock, I might not get half as much engagement if I post at 12. So it's a big difference. So you want to make sure you're posting at the right times. Right? And what about the frequency? That's important too. The frequency of when to post. The frequency. So 10 times per week. Anybody have that friend that posts on Facebook every 5 minutes? How do you feel about them, right? Instagram, right? All right, so you want to make sure you're not that person, right? So you're balancing it out. So think about your audience. People want the information, but they don't want too much information. They don't want to be overwhelmed by what you're talking about and what you're posting. So make sure you're balancing everything out and give people what they need. Twitter is probably like the only platform that you can literally post 12 times a day and it's recommended to post that many times. Other than that, most of the time it's pretty much once a day, twice a day. Even LinkedIn, if you post on LinkedIn more than once a day, your second post that you post is not going to do as well because LinkedIn doesn't want their platform to be just type of a way where you can just promote all day, every day. So you want to focus one post at a time. So make sure on LinkedIn, posting once a day is the best bet. Instagram as well, 1 to 2 times max, because again, some of these platforms, people only really want to hear from it a few times, unless it's like a news organization, whereas like people are specifically following that platform to hear about the latest news all day, every day. That's probably the exception when it comes to these platforms, but other than that, or like the gossip platforms, that's the only platforms I've seen that that are posting like crazy amount of times and they're still getting engagement, they're not losing followers. Right? So prioritizing what's matters, so think about likes, comments, and shares. So think of these key areas right here because that's what gets more engagement. So even on LinkedIn, so comments way more than likes. So trying to get the most comments. That's why whenever I post, sometimes I ask questions. So I ask some questions. I say, what do you think about this? What is your opinion on this and that? And then you'll get a lot of new people that you probably didn't or weren't aware of people following you. You'll get that engagement and you'll get more people interested. And your posts will be more likely to show up on the feed following that day. Right? And a calendar. So it's important to realize that, yes, you have to post a lot of content. You have to be organized. But what's helped me out and what's helped many other organizations out is just a content calendar. So planning out what you're going to be posting for the next week or the next 2 weeks or the next 30 days. So either way, you want to make sure that you are planning out. So what this does is it prevents you from sitting on a Friday afternoon and wondering what to post because you haven't posted for 2 weeks or 1 week. So just planning out, that's the best bet you can do. So when it comes to just being organized. All right, so we talked about search engines, we talked about social media, but let's go into kind of detail about your actual website and kind of like how to make sure it's attractive for new visitors. So what do they see? So we've been using our website for years maybe, and we kind of understand what our site looks like, but how does a new visitor see our site? Right? So is it visually impacting? Can they really connect? Right when they get to the site, do they understand what to do, what to click on, where to go on your website? What is the call to action? So for example, this example is Disney website. The green button stands out, and look at the picture. Happy faces, smiling faces, right? So people, again, helps with that connection. Emotional picture, power words. You can look up power words on Google easily. And credibility. So this is one of my clients. We looked at their page, and they wanted to improve their presence. So Insure Online, it's an insurance company online, and what we ended up doing was we put more credibility on there, such as reviews and a phone number as well, to gain that. So reviews, phone numbers, easy to connect. So it turned out looking really good as far as like the Better Business Bureau rating as well. Right? And also, you want to make sure your brand is consistent overall online. So let's say you're doing an advertisement, a Google advertisement, so which I recommend depending on your business. So I typed in, I see online coupons, and one stood out. All these other websites that I clicked onto, once I clicked on them, I couldn't realize if that was their website that they were advertising with. But once I clicked on Capital One, I noticed how much better it was than the others. Because right when I clicked on Capital One, I went to a landing page, and it has similar wording as I saw in the actual page. Right? It's automatically applied for coupons. So make sure it's consistent, brand consistency. All right? So can they see the content? All right, can they see the content? All right? Hopefully nobody in here has a black website. Right? So lighter websites always do better. Think about the biggest brands in the world, their websites. Most of the time, it's always lighter. It's always light. Unless maybe it's a luxury brand, luxury vehicles. Of course, it's black. But if you notice, many of those sites, they have large text on those dark backgrounds. So if you do have black website, make sure your text is large and people can really understand it and see it. Right? So darker websites, it takes a little bit longer for people to figure out the call to actions. right? So what we see is we have an orange circle around, then we got blue circle, and then we got another orange circle. So it looks like the orange circle on the left is a little bit larger, but in fact, it's the same size. It's just this matter of like what's around these orange circles. As you can see, it's the same size. And this happens because the surroundings. So for example, on one side, you have a circle surrounded by smaller items, and on the other side, you have a circle surrounded by larger items. But the idea is, on your website, think about what the call to action is. And in the call to action, you want to make sure there's smaller items surrounding it versus large items. So you want to make sure you know where the call to action is. People that come to your site, they understand where the call to action is, and they can take advantage, and they know exactly what to click. All right? So you want to make sure people know exactly where to go. Let me ask you this. What direction is this train going? This way? Towards us? Left, right? Towards us? Both? Yeah. So it could be you never really know, right? So you could be left, could be right. So it looks like nobody knows, right? Yeah. So some people say, well, where are that guy's looking? And this is something you want to think about when it comes to your website. Are people seeing the same type of content? Are people consistently seeing the same type of content? If I see your website, do I think one thing? If somebody else sees your website, do they see the same thing I'm seeing? So being consistent in understanding what your website looks like and what needs to happen to make sure it's consistent among other people. And I think it's going to the right. So lastly, let's talk about tracking. So where's all your website traffic coming from, and how to take advantage of knowing where that traffic's coming from. Right? So a new tool, Google Analytics 4. You want to write this down. You want to make sure it's installed, because this tool will help you track all the traffic that's coming to your website. And not only that, but it's going to tell you the behavior, what pages they're going to, where they're dropping off at, how long they're spending on your website, and what type of engagements they're having. So for example, one key feature is the real time. So right now, if you go to this tool and you create it, it'll tell you exactly how many visitors are on your site right now. And some of you might be familiar with the old analytics, universal analytics, but this one is more advanced, and it kind of signifies how people are engaging on your site and the behaviors people are using. And the good thing about Google Analytics 4 is you can create audiences, you can create a lot of detail as far as reporting, exactly what you want to know as far as what cities people are coming from, what devices people are using. All that information can be tracked on Google Analytics 4. The previous version of this, you had to get a developer and put code on your website in order to track certain things. But this one, you could track PDF downloads. You could track if people play a video on your site or pause the video. You could track if people go to other sites that are outside of your site as well, outbound clicks. So I highly recommend you sign up for this, and it's a free tool as well.
What is it again?
Google Analytics 4.
What was the last one?
Google Analytics 4. Yeah, Google Analytics 4. So Google Analytics 4, and look at this. It even tells us what devices people are using. So devices in GA4. It tells us that people are using iPhones. It tells us that people are using Androids. It tells us what tablet people are using. It tells us what type of computer people are using. It even tells us if they're standing up or sitting down when they're using this tablet. Just kidding, it doesn't tell you that. But you never know. You never know. Maybe in the future, right? Everybody was shocked, right? What's going on with technology? It's crazy. But it can tell you all the key information about the user that you need, such as where they're located, what device they're using, what they did on their device, like did they go to your home page, did they go to your contact page, when they dropped off. It'll tell you all that key information. All right, so it'll tell you from the time they got to your home page, what page they go to, and what did they do and when do they drop off. So many exploration paths, so many behavior reports that you can use in Google Analytics 4, and definitely look into that. Just so you know, I've done 2-day presentations only on this tool. That's how much information is in here. But what I recommend is you figure out what is the most important reports that you can use, a dashboard, and then utilize that report and get those emails on a weekly basis so you don't have to log in and see it yourself and try to organize it. Right. All right, so one thing you want to write down too is Google Search Console. So Google Search Console is a really, it'll tell you what people are typing in specifically to get to your website. So this is a key tool. For example, if you think people are typing in transcription services in Denver, you'll find out from this tool that people are actually typing in transcriber services or court reporting services in Denver. And now you know that information, you can put that on your website, use those words in your blog posts as well. So SimilarWeb, you want to write that down. It can help you see other competitors, see how much traffic they got, and where they're getting their traffic from. Right. So overall, you want to make sure you are ready. So make sure you are ready for opportunities. Make sure you're ready because at any moment, business can change. I mean, we've seen how the pandemic is. We've seen how things can change overnight. And overnight, that's when other opportunities are available. But you want to be ready for those opportunities right now in case people start searching all of a sudden tomorrow or next week. So all these tips that I've talked about as far as like search engines and social media, do all that right now. So if there's a huge uptick in your business, then you're already ready versus trying to catch up and keep up with other people that already implemented some of these strategies. And remember to work smart and not hard, just like these pets.
Run.
As you can see, even the dogs know that you want to work smart, not hard. All right, so any questions so far about all this? Yes?
I have a question. So I know when I search something, I feel like even if I say something, my phone knows it and it shows up.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering, like, I know I can do these things to promote the school or whatever, but how, I feel like it's more the person that's doing it and what they're Googling.
Yeah, I get it, yep.
How do you affect that?
Oh yeah, so you can affect that. It's based off if people are signed into certain things. So for example, in your phone, you have settings that you can go to turn it off as far as like if you want the apps to listen to you, like Pandora does it a lot, where they listen to a conversation and all that. But you can turn that off. But even with Google, you can't really affect it as much. You just got to know your audience more. But you always want to think about, well, there is a percentage of people that, let's say for instance, I'm in Houston and I'm searching for something, I'm going to get all the content that's in Houston. But that's not, but that's not always the case though. You don't want to, that might be like 50%, I don't know the specific data, but it's not everyone. So you want to have content out there, you want to put it on your website. Because again, like I said, you never know where people are coming from. It could be coming from California to search, or it could be from New York. So you always want to still put out the content out there. And then think about knowing your audience and knowing who the audience. If you know the audience a little bit more, then it'll help you to create the content. But utilize the Google Analytics 4, and it'll tell you more about what they're doing and who they are. Yep. Any other questions? Yes.
There's a lot of behind-the-scenes activity to keep these sites and post on these sites, keep the sites up and stuff. Are there companies that offer services that can put content up that keep you more relevant in search engines?
Put content up. So what I recommend, so what my team does, we offer SEO search optimization services. One of my specific strategies is I have a blog writer, and I tell the blog writer to go to Search Engine Console or Google Analytics, and I say, hey, look at what people are typing in to find our site. Write a blog post based off that. And then I have another marketing person go in and update my website and put that blog post up there. That's pretty much how you would do it without you personally doing it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to scale, really.
Yeah, that's what you gotta, mostly. With that type of stuff, there's no real automated system yet, but you wanna make sure you put people in place, like that can help you out with the writing aspect. Because I mean, everybody's busy, and you might not specialize in this, so I recommend that, yes. Anybody else, any questions? So yes.
I've never played with Google reviews except just to look for restaurants and stuff. Can you, if you're, I guess if it's my company, my business, can I delete negative comments?
No, you can't delete. You have
To
to.
be spiteful, you know. Let me go out there.
Yeah, you can respond. I would recommend like calling them and talking about figuring out what happened, and then having them remove it if you handle the situation offline. So that's what I recommend. Yep. All right. So I offer consulting. My company, what we do is we help with search engine optimization. We can help you get set up with all the stuff we talked about, analytics training or consulting, and also advisory as well. And if you scan this QR code, you get the book Digital Marketing Results. You'll scan it, and then you can get where to get it. And also, if you want to contact me, you can scan that other one, and then or email me as well if you need any information about what we talked about. And I'll be here with the rest of the books from yesterday, the Leading in a Virtual World book as well. But thanks for having me. Thanks.